Hey guys, so I am coming to you from the lake bed, Means Dry Lake Bed, King of the Hammers 2023, and we did make the trek out to California from Houston. And I thought, I was sitting there thinking, what would be a good video for somebody that had never been out here? Some tips, pointers, whatever you want to call it. So I made a few notes, and I thought this might be a good video. So, first time at King of the Hammers. We got here very intimidated. So many people have no idea where to go. I did not think it would be as crowded as it is, but it is massively packed. And I'm told today is Wednesday. We got here on Monday the 6th, which was the week after King of the Motos. We did see quite a few people leaving. The side-by-side guys were leaving, a lot of them anyways. All the motorcycle guys were leaving. We saw the Baja trucks, the desert trucks, those guys were leaving. So I figured that would be, a major wave that would depart, be a little more empty. Wasn't the case. So it was jammed up. We did manage to find a pretty good spot, easily within walking distance, right off of Boone Road. That's good. We've got a great campsite. There's 4 campers. We kind of circle up. We put the rigs in the middle of the circle. People kind of stay out of your campground. So, first thing, Boone Road. When you come in, you're going to turn on Boone Road off of 247, also known as, what is it, something Woman Springs? I don't know. It's Highway 247. You're going to turn right on, or you're going to turn on Boone Road to get to Hammertown. You follow that, you'll go through the gate where you get your little wristband, and I would advise parking as you're traveling up Boone, park on the left. Turkey Claw is on the left. You've got closer to Hammertown. To the left is going to be back door and that kind of stuff. Park on that side. That's the west side of Boone Road. The wind is blowing from the west to the east. You're going to get dusty. Dust will get on everything. But if you're camped on the east side of Boone Road, you're going to get pelted with dust because the traffic up and down Boone Road all day and all night is ridiculous. So, first thing, camp on the west side. East side, bad. Traffic, Boone Road is crazy. There are people going up and down Boone Road 90 to nothing. I mean, some of them are flying, some of them are reasonable and trying to find their campsite. So be careful going up and down Boone Road. Okay, we talked about Boone Road. Let's talk about law enforcement. They are out in full force. Ton of law enforcement. What are they looking for? Stupidity. People just getting out of hand. The speed limit on Boone Road is 15 miles an hour. Some of these guys, the ones that we've seen get pulled over, are those that are just flying by all the other traffic. I'm not a big safety Nazi kind of guy, but it's really unsafe. You've got guys on motorcycles, on 3-wheelers, 4-wheelers, you name it. We brought our mini bikes. I ride them in the morning when there's not that much traffic because they're all asleep, but there's still traffic. So you just got to be careful. Law enforcement is out here. They are enforcing the law. I don't think they're looking for, some people have beer in the crawlers. They're not looking for those guys that are out recreating, having a couple of beers. They're looking for the fools. And there's plenty of them out here, so be careful. If you're speeding, they're going to pull you over. There's a lot of them. When you get here, you're going to go through the gate, and you're going to meet one of the workers. The workers here, I think most all of them are volunteers, which is great. They do a great job. They have their instructions. They do what they're told to do, and they're out here because they love doing this stuff. However, if you have specific questions about the event, about where to camp, what trails are open, what trails are closed, they're probably not going to know. We've encountered quite a few that really, one guy was blocking, I think it was Sledgehammer, and I asked him, well, if we can't go Sledgehammer, is there any place over here we could wheel? And he said, man, I don't know. I was just told to block this trail right here. So we did end up finding a pretty cool trail. So the workers, they're great, but specific questions, they really don't know. Okay, so this is really neat. If you're not going to get TV reception out here, you're not going to get cell reception except for at the cell bush, which is really weird. I drove over there yesterday morning, had a couple of phone calls that were fine. They didn't drop. They were perfect. That's about the only place you're going to be able to make a phone call. I've got AT&T. As far as getting text messages, they're hit and miss. You'll send one, it'll fail. You'll be driving around and it'll go, or you'll hear them start to pop in. When you do, if you have a text, you got to get out. I'd suggest you take that opportunity because obviously you found a cell signal, and get some texts out. Text messaging, very, very sketchy, hit and miss. Phone calls, not going to happen unless you're at that cell phone bush. I was a skeptic. I did it yesterday. It works. Go figure, I don't know. The dust. We already talked about the dust, but I can't stress enough, the dust sucks. Bring stuff to deal with the dust. Goggles are a must. A face covering, some sort of scarf. You got to have that stuff or you'll have brown boogers for days. Some people bring painter's tape to tape up all the cracks in the RV, around the doors, the windows. I've not had that. I've kept my camper closed. You know, I don't leave the doors open. I'm not opening the windows. It's cool. I'm running the heat. You might be able to hear it right now. It just popped on. I don't really have a big problem with dust inside the camper. Again, I've only been here 2 days. This is day 3. But the dust is horrendous. Okay, here's one that's kind of serious, and it's a little sad if you ask me. Thefts. There are people here that are out scouting around looking at what they could steal. Gas cans, if they're not locked down, you'll lose them. Bring locks, bring cables, make sure your gas cans are secure. I don't know if it's a thin cable, that's fine. I think it's a target of opportunity. If they could grab it and go, they'll do it. If it's tied down, locked down, you're probably okay. My neighbor over here, Alex, has been out. He lives in San Diego. Just met him, nice guy. He and I were talking, and he said, you know, the big thing that they steal, pit bikes. 110cc and down, those small motorcycles, mini bikes, that kind of stuff. There are people that know these trails better than anyone. They come in, grab them, go, and you'll never catch them because they know how to get out of here without going through any checkpoints. So, really sad, but there is a lot of theft. I saw where somebody got his Toyota crawler stolen, and it was running up and down 247. It was spotted. It was recovered. But that kind of stuff goes on. I mean, there's people of all sorts out here. You'll see everything. So thefts, bring locks, bring cables. Services. I saw a lot of traffic on Facebook about, hey, can you get your tanks pumped? Is there fresh water? Yes, yes, and yes. All that stuff. We bought firewood. It's a little pricey. They say $25 for a wheelbarrow load. They load it up. It's not a whole lot in the wheelbarrow, so we got 2 wheelbarrow loads, put it in the back of the Can-Am, and it's really not a whole lot. It's probably a night if you're sitting around the fire having a few beers. They do have firewood. They have ice. They have fresh water, there's water trucks running around. There's pump trucks running around, the honey pot. They'll come pump your camper tanks. I don't know what it costs. I've heard it's a little pricey, $80 to $120 to pump your tank, something like that. Maybe you can find something less. I don't know. Hopefully we're not going to have to pump our tanks. But those services, they are available. Another thing they do that's been very helpful is they've got water trucks running around wetting down the Boone Road and some of the roads around Hammertown. That's been helpful, but that water, man, it dries up quick. It's dry out here. So that brings me to another one. If you're from a humid climate like Houston, Texas, you don't really have to worry about hand lotion so much. Your skin doesn't dry out. And this may sound like a kind of a sissy thing, but I'm telling you, it's dry out here. So my hands were cracking. I finally found some hand cream that I had in a pickup. So I'd recommend bringing hand cream, some chapstick, and some sunscreen. The sun is bright. It's been in the 50s in the afternoon. Man, let me tell you, that gets a little warm here with no humidity. It's been very comfortable. The mornings are a little cool. It's in probably the mid to low 30s, but it warms up quickly and it gets very nice. So nice weather for us. Again, this is 2023. I think it was last year, it rained a lot and it was really nasty. Like I said, there's idiots all over this place. Accident after accident. Last night we had Life Flight come in. We saw all the emergency responders out in the desert on the east side of Boone Road. I still don't know what happened, but it did not look good. There were a ton of sirens and lights out there in the desert, and it was literally, right across from across Boone Road from our campsite. So we got a first-hand look. Just didn't know what was going on. So lots of accidents. The key there is be careful. You got to keep your head on a swivel because these people will come out of nowhere flying in these razors and motorcycles. The motorcycles are really fast too. Those guys are nuts. You just got to be watching for them. They're out recreating just like we are, and those things are so fast that they'll pop out of nowhere. If you read the Hammer King Productions that puts on King of the Hammers, does a great job of putting out flyers. The trail map's pretty cool. It's not really a detailed trail map, but it tells you where to go watch the races. They have the rules for Johnson Valley ORV, and one of the rules is no fireworks. I think that's one of those written rules that nobody enforces and nobody complies with. So fireworks all night long. So far, the 2 nights we've been here, Monday and Tuesday night, the fireworks have been going on forever, and they're loud. So bring earplugs. If you want to get a decent night's sleep, bring earplugs, because the cars going up and down Boone Road all night long. Haven't really heard a lot of music, just loud blaring music, but I hear it's going to get even more crowded as we get closer to the Everyman Challenge and the Ultra 4 cars. But earplugs, you might get a decent night's sleep. I have, but I wouldn't without that. We covered fireworks, we covered earplugs. So I was under the impression that the trails out here were all the Hammers trails. All those trails you hear about, Sledgehammer, Claw Hammer. We went up Turkey Claw yesterday, which was really cool. Backdoor, Wrecking Ball, all that stuff. You hear about all those trails. That's not the only stuff out here. There are a ton of trails. You just got to go search for them. If you're not from here, what we did, we just started following people. And we ended up on a really cool trail. I have no idea what it was called, but it's an offshoot from Turkey Claw, and it was awesome. We had a great time yesterday. Which brings me to my last tip. This place is packed, like I said. I'll get some pictures and post them, insert them in this video, but mark your campsite. If you have Onyx Off-Road, I've got that. It's been great. Not sponsored or at all. I pay my fee every month, but that's a really good utility. I've got it on an iPad that I just put in the buggy, and that's worked out really well. Mark your campsite so you can get back to it. Mark it on Onyx if you have that. You're not going to get any internet service, so Google Maps may not work all that well. Onyx works really well if you download the offline maps. Mark your campsite, and then mark it with some sort of light. We had a strobe light on ours last night. We went and watched the Holly EFI shootout from Hammertown. We watched it on the Jumbotron, got back here. It was dark, and we saw the strobe light and knew exactly where to go. As people move in, the scenery will change, and you're not always going to remember, hey, turn right at this particular camper and it'll get to my campsite, because somebody may have moved in front of that camper. So it changes. Mark your campsite. So there you have it. Those are just some of the random tips. I just started jotting things down that I would like to know if I were coming out here, and that's pretty much it. This is a crazy place. It's one of those bucket list trips for me. I'm glad I'm doing it. Probably not going to get a whole lot of wheeling, at least not as much as I thought. It's a lot of spectating, which is cool too. I like that. We're going to go check out the vendor show today. They have a ton of vendors. Anything you need, you could probably get in Hammertown, at least for off-road stuff. So there you have it. I hope that helped, and who knows, if I come back, maybe I'll meet one of you guys at Hammertown. So we'll see you on the trail, in the vendor show, qualifying today, and all that other good stuff. So thanks for watching. I'll see you on the trail.